Pat Benatar is considered an 80s icon and rock and roll legend. Throughout her career, she has achieved 10 platinum albums and 4 Grammys with 19 top 40 singles. She is primarily known for her soaring vocals and rock sound, with signature singles like Hit Me With Your Best Shot and Love Is a Battlefield, propelling her to stardom. Born Patricia May Andrzejewski on January 10, 1953, she started her life in Brooklyn, New York City, before moving to Lindenhurst, Long Island. Music was at the core of her childhood, with her mother being a classically trained opera singer, who sparked Benatar's passion for music. As a young kid, she took part in the theater and began singing lessons. At 8 years old, she had her first solo performance during her time at her elementary school. As she approached high school, she joined the school theater, where she was heavily involved in musicals, becoming a prominent feature of the school's events, such as the choir, homecoming parade, and the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Vocally, she had been trained as a coloratura, giving her the technical ability to sing elaborate melodies. Her talent led her to a placement at Juilliard School, but turned down the offer, opting for a career in health education. However, after less than a year, she dropped out of the health degree and instead married her high school sweetheart in 1971, changing her name to Pat Benatar. She also located to Virginia, as her husband was stationed there in the army. Her career drastically altered again when she became a bank teller. It wasn't long, though, before she knew music was her true calling, and she left behind her life as a housewife to embark on singing opportunities, joining a small cabaret band in Richmond. The band were becoming well known in the Richmond area and were on the verge of a big break when Benatar changed her mind and quit the band. The married couple moved back to New York so Benatar could try to pursue a career in music. A classically trained mezzo-soprano, Benatar has an impressive vocal, technical ability. Known for her rock style, she is admired for her belting notes and the natural grit and texture in her voice. This is a contrast to her head voice, which reflects her classically trained background, as her tone is lighter and often operatic sounding. The training also enables her to sing powerfully and for a lengthy amount of time in a way that seems effortless. She has full control over the delivery of her voice and the clarity at which she sings. Paired with a charismatic stage presence and powerful rock songs, she became a legend within the industry. Back in New York, she decided to take part in an open mic at Catch a Rising Star, and despite being the 27th artist in the lineup, she went on stage at 2 in the morning and still bowled over the audience, along with the manager and owner of the club, Rick Newman. This would be the moment they formed the beginning of their 15-year working relationship as manager and artist. She was soon signed to Chrysalis Records, but divorced her husband in 1979, deciding to stick with her surname as her stage name. Benatar wanted to create a name for herself as a rock singer, desperate to evolve on her sound. This all fell into place when she was introduced to Neil Giraldo, who was an up-and-coming guitarist, offering the sounds that Benatar had been searching for. With that in mind, they recorded Benatar's debut album, In the Heat of the Night, in 1979, along with producer and songwriter Mike Chapman and engineer Peter Coleman. Despite being released in August, it wasn't until 6 months later that it reached number 12 on the Billboard 200. The album featured Heartbreaker, a hard rock song that became the breakthrough for her career. In the US, Heartbreaker was an immediate hit with album rock radio stations. However, it was We Live for Love that achieved her first top 10 feature, peaking at number 8 in Canada. 1980 saw the release of follow-up album Crimes of Passion, where Giraldo was further involved, arranging and playing both guitar and keyboard, occasionally lending his voice too. This album would produce her trademark hit, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, rewarding Benatar with her first top 10 million selling hit. Supported by her other singles, Treat Me Right and You Better Run, the album was certified platinum. Benatar and Giraldo established their position in the music industry as the first female and first guitarist to appear equally on MTV with their performance of You Better Run. Becoming her biggest selling album, Crimes of Passion also earned Benatar her first Grammy for Best Female Rock Vocal Performance. Cementing their work as a duo, Giraldo stepped up as Benatar's producer and arranger, and in 1981 they released Precious Time. The lead single, Fire and Ice, achieved major success, and once again Benatar was awarded her second Grammy for Best Female Rock Performance. The following year, Get Nervous was released, again attracting major critical and commercial success. These accomplishments only cemented Benatar and Geraldo's partnership further as they soared triumphantly throughout the decade. Love is a Battlefield, written by Holly Knight from the album Live from Earth, made an impact, selling over 1 million copies and peaking at number 5 in the US, taking home another Grammy. Her sound by this point had experimented and changed direction, gravitating towards atmospheric pop, often using stories in her music videos to reflect the songs. Benatar would continue to release albums alongside Geraldo, earning herself a status as a 80s rock icon. Throughout this, Geraldo and Benatar formed a romantic relationship and got married in 1982. As they moved into the 1990s, the success levels of their music career dipped. Benatar continued producing and releasing albums such as Seven the Hard Way, Wide Awake in Dreamland, and Gravity's Rainbow. However, these records never quite reached the level of success as the 80s achieved. Since 1997, when she released Enamorada, she has only recorded and released one more album, Go, in 2003. The soundscape of this album referred back to her guitar-driven era, which she felt was a natural progression. In 2008, she was inducted into the Hall of Fame and spent time raising her 2 daughters and writing her autobiography, Between a Heart and a Rock Place. This gave her fans an insight into her 3-decade rock and roll career, exploring the relationship with her label, personal life, and her role as a feminist. As one half of the powerhouse duo she formed with Geraldo, she has astonished her audiences with her guitar-driven sounds and engaging stage presence. Thanks to their dedicated showmanship, they still perform regularly, with touring being a big part of their lives, winning over fans with their collection of anthems. But as a solo artist, Pat Benatar has led the way as a female rock and roll icon and astounding vocalist of the 1980s, breaking the rules and leaving a distinctive imprint on the music industry. You can check out the Carly of Spotify to listen to the original tracks of the artist. It's a curated playlist with the most popular songs.